Hey everybody, welcome back to another trading recap video. So today is Wednesday, but I'm doing the recap for yesterday, Tuesday the 27th, and I closed the day plus 226 bucks on stock ATXI. So yeah, yesterday was a pretty exciting day. We had some really nice surprise momentum on this thing. Ended up making a really nice move in our day. Now getting up yesterday, I don't believe this was our leading gapper. And coming into the open, I was looking at it. I'm like, the chart looks alright. We're above VWAP, so that's good. But looking over here at the daily chart, we were opening here, and we had all this. Looking at the daily chart here, it did not look very pretty, and it was kind of tricky trying to mark out levels. So I wasn't feeling super optimistic about the stock. And then when it opened, it actually did make a push over highs here, and then flushed. So right away, I was like, oh, that's not great. And then we started curling up here. I didn't take any trades, and then my first trade on it actually was when we got this little quick pullback. And this candle ended up closing really strong. So I'm looking at the 15-second chart here, not the 1 minute. So I took one small $20, $30 winner in this area here. And then we came up, made highs, didn't take trades through the highs. But then we had this little quick micro pullback, and that got bought up really nicely. And then when this pulled back and started getting bought up, I was looking for the breakout of this flat top, so I punched the buy button, got filled at 72, and this thing rips to $7. I mean, it was like an instantaneous rip. I hit the sell button, and it was 30-cent winner right there. It was like sweet, I was up 150, I think, right there after that trade. And then didn't take anything into this section here, and then it went into a halt at $7.82. So I'm like, man, if I could have just sold half and held for the extension, I would have been sitting pretty. Obviously, it was still a good trade, and I was not expecting this breakout to be so aggressive. And it even broke 7 in this little candle here in 15 seconds. So that was really strong. But it locked up into a halt here, and I was feeling like, I could have done a little bit better if I just held on a little bit longer or try to sell it in pieces instead of just selling the whole thing on the first pop. It's something that I'm trying to get a little bit better at, and if the context is right. Out of this halt resumption, I was looking for the dip and rip. Didn't take a trade right away because, as you can see, in this whole 15 seconds, it didn't move a lot. A lot of volume came in, but I was expecting to pull back a little bit more than it did, and I wanted the dip and rip to be like that. Usually on these halt resumptions, I want it to be, instant follow through. I don't want no time for hesitation or I'm going to get out right away. In this case, I didn't get an entry. Tried taking one trade for the break of 50, ended up stopping out for a 3-cent loss. It was nothing, no big deal there. And then when this pulled back really strong, got bought back up, we dumped off again, and then this got bought up really strong. I was looking for the break of these highs to look for new highs for the new extension higher. I ended up getting in here at, I think it was, my entry was 92 or 91 is where I got filled. And again, we had a really quick snap, and you can see in this 15-second candle, we went from lows of, lows of 876, or excuse me, 867, to highs of 934. I mean, so those are big range candles. And again, right there was another 30-cent winner. But the thing was, after the first win, and after this thing was, it's like right here on the 5-minute chart, we were like trading up here, So I mean, this thing was pretty extended. So in hindsight, I think that was a pretty good decision on my part to dumb down share size a little bit. But of course, then you get a nice winner, and it's like, well, shoot, I just left some on the table. But it is what it is. That's what happened there. So instead of doubling my daily P&L with another $150 winner, I took half share size. So I was up, after that trade, I was up 230, I think, on the day. I ended up getting one more trade in this section for another small winner, put me up about, because yeah, I sold off here, and we had the pullback. I tried getting entry on that pullback. It looked a little heavy, so I got out for, I think, like I said, a small winner, added another 30 bucks a day, so I was up about 260. I was up 266 on the day, all-time highs. My P&L anyway. And then when we pulled back here, I thought, well, this might be done. This was the third halt here, and it opened and it halted down, like it flushed $1, like as soon as the halt resumed. So I'm like, man, that's not good. I was looking for it on resumption. It opened lower, kind of gave a little dip and rip, but I wasn't really interested in it there. And then when we surged back up, this is when I started getting involved again. But at this point, I'm already at high of day, so for my P&L, and I didn't end up making any more on this move. And then on this section here, I tried. Was it that? I think it was. Yeah, it was at the very top actually, because we got the surge through high of day. Now this one was a little bit tricky because I lost a little bit on this flush here, and then when we halted up here, it surged from what was it here? $9.40 when it broke out of this flat top. And it halted here $1 a share higher at 10:30 or 10:40 actually. And I'm thinking, man, it's right below high of day. So if this thing can open high, I'm gonna get aggressive on it. See if we're gonna get some short covering out of the halt. It opens lower, but it gives a really nice dip and rip. And I didn't take a trade on it. But in hindsight, it was a pretty nice trade because we had that panic flush out of the halt. I was just, looking at this halt back here down, I was just like, I'd rather be safe than sorry on this thing. I just didn't want to give too much back off the top because I already took a small loser here. And then I kind of sillily, I tried taking a stab at it here when we started pulling back on this candle. Took another small loss, and I was down, $40 from the top. And I was like, okay, for the rest of the day, if nothing sets up really obvious A quality, I'm not going to touch it. And it came up here, it tempted me a little bit, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna leave it alone because I've seen this kind of setup that could potentially be, when it looks like it might be on the backside of the move and it gives it a big leg up, and then right below high of day, it flushed, gets flushed, and that's exactly what happened here. So I'm glad I avoided that trade because that's something that I've noticed historically that I was getting caught up on was this kind of trade, looking for the retest of high of day on a pullback, but the pullback was not the pullback. So I'm glad that I avoided that there. Then for the rest of the day, yeah, it faded off. I gave another move. It never really went below VWAP until like way later in the day. Yeah, it was not till basically power hour when we really flushed below VWAP, and then gave a little bit of opportunity today. But yeah, the momentum on this thing was good, and it was great to see. The action was pretty clean, and I capitalized pretty well. Except I was just a little bit too timid, and in hindsight, it wasn't very smart to dumb down share size after taking a nice winner on such a clean moving stock, and the breakout felt so nice that taking smaller share size, probably wasn't the best move on that. But you know what? You're always limiting your downside risk when you dumb down share size. So the goal was just to preserve gains. That's always the goal, is to get green, and then taking trades after that. I want to give back as little as possible off the top because there's nothing worse than having a nice green day turn into a red because of some bad trades. So in hindsight, it is what it is. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up the recap here. Nothing else that I really want to cover. The market sentiment has been okay the last few days. Overall markets didn't perform that great, but as you can see here, we had some really nice momentum. This thing was up over 200% at highs. So yeah, we had that really nice move from $6 to 11, 12 there. So that was really good to see. So we'll hope to see some of this momentum follow through for the rest of the week. But yeah, that's gonna do it there for me. Gonna bring it up one more time here. No, it's gone. I closed it out. But yeah, I was up $230 in the day yesterday. So anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for me. Take it easy, and later.